Welcome to failover routing. Failover routing is using two gateway or two ISP. For example, you are using a verbal link and a VSAT link. You are using a wireless link on your router and also using a LAN. You can do what we call failover. Formerly, we use ECMP, which is equal cost multiple path routing. But presently, we use advanced routing without scripting. You don't need to do netwash and the rest of them. Let me go to show you what I have here. The address for the local network is 172.16.10.1, and you have the address for my gateway to be 192.168.0.11/24. That's my gateway. You can see my route. My default route is 192.168.0.1. Now, and I also have a firewall that is masquerade using a source of 172.6.10.0 network. I also have a DNS of 888. I did not set a watchdog, neither did I set netwash. All you need to do is have your internet addressing. Like now, let's try to see if I can access the internet. It's browsing. Let me try to ping yahoo.com so that I can access Yahoo. So I have access to internet. Now, what you want to do, like we said, is having two gateways. You can see the outgoing net cable to the internet, which I'm connected to, and the incoming is on Ether 6. So I will be configuring another network for my people tutorial. Remember, we have 172.16.0.1.0 network, so I'll be using 3 as my host /24, and I'll be putting it on the Ether 2. Apply. Okay, so you can see the cable is already connected and running. So what else do I do? Now, remember, I'm not using interface. If you are doing this, don't use the interface to do your source the routing. Rather use the IP. Since I have a single local network, from the address you can see this is my HIN, and it's a single network. So this take care of the two instead of selecting out 1 or out 2 as your source NAT. So my source NAT, like you can see, is just the network address, my local network address. Now, one other thing I need to do is, once I'm sure with the address, is to set a default route. Now, as of now, we have only a single route. Let's create another route, and remember the distance for the first option is 1. The scope is 30, the target scope is also 10. So we create another default route with the gateway of the previous network 172.16.0.1 as the gateway, and let's see if it's going to detect. The distance here will not be 1, we'll be using 20 as distance. Is detecting it on Ether 2. You can see now the trick here is the first default link, which is the fastest link probably on your network, should be 1, and the alternative you are using as a backup link should be 2. Should be less greater than 1. Anything above 1 will be the alternative. That's why I'm choosing 20 there. Now let's see what happened. I can browse using let me show you the interface. Let's come to interface and let's try to ping the internet. We'll be pinging the internet. I will be pinging Google DNS so that you can see what is going on. Now you can see from the graphs that it's replying from Google DNS, and my default route is working as of now. Let's try to disable my select and click on disable. You can automatically see that my default route have changed, and you can see how fast it switched to the second hub, and you can see I have access to internet. Let me try to ping Yahoo again. I can see I have access to Yahoo. I will try to see if I can access in internet. You can see I can still have access to internet. So Failover make easy using this method. Now what happened, I want you to take a look at my default route. What happened if I enable my first network again? You can see it switched back to the first one and it stay on the first one because the distance is 1. You can see a tweak between 1 and 2, but this is where your distance has to be far from 1. A greater should start from 20 upward, 10, don't use 2 or so that it can be able to detect which one to use. I will be disconnecting Ether 2 cable from my router. You can see it's already, the R which is main running is already removed. Now nothing happened. I can see I have access to internet. You can see the ping there. Now let me also do the same to the other cable. I will be removing the Ether 1. Just watch. It's switching. You can see it's switched and the R has been removed. I'm not disabling. So you can see it's failing from your, once I connect it, it's back again. So Failover make easy without scripting, without waste of time. So you can use this to connect, to configure 2 ISP. Probably you have a VSAT and a fiber link, or you have a wireless link and the local the Ethernet link. So you can use both of these as a failover of one. Now, but in case you want to have link from both, then we'll be talking about load balancing. So we'll be talking about load balancing. Like I said, we have two major type of load balancing. We have the per traffic load balancing over multiple gateway. You can see having access from the two to the network. We'll be looking at load balancing later on from the tutorial, but now we'll be staying majorly with failover routing, and you can see from the example it's so easy if you can just make sure your distance and your source NAT. You can see, let me make a comment here. Source NAT, your source NAT must be IP, not the interface. This make it easy to switch from one network to the other. Those are the two things you need: the distance and the source NAT configuration should be source address and not the interface. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe